I am Jeffrey Vladwen in the Gwined campaign from Thrones of Britannia. This campaign is on hard difficulty and is going a little too well, so I have now started in parallel a Difeling campaign on Legendary. I will finish both, but how soon depends on how much interest there is, so I would appreciate your feedback. King Anarod has subdued the kingdom of Bracknot after they went to war against Powys. A pigeon has brought us great news. Our fellow Britons of Devon and Cornwall have risen against the Saxon overlords. We have now the option to annex them, unite with them in war against West Seaxe, conquer them or leave them alone. The last option is not fit for a heroic king to even consider. The right thing to do would probably be to unite with them in a war against West Seaxe, but annexing them might save us the trouble for now. We sent the pigeon back with words that they are being annexed, just to be immediately told that we are now at war with West Seaxe. An event popped up to exchange heroism in order to increase public order. Not sure how that would have worked out in real life. I would have thought people would be happier following a heroic leader than the other way around. Our diplomats spent some time negotiating with the Danish kingdom of Lederborg. They seemed interested in military access more than in a defensive alliance.
Permit us access to your lands. We're not ready for this alliance.
In the end, we gave them a small gift in cash and left it at that.
You are welcome here. What have you for me?
Now, at this point, being a braver king, Anarod decided to go to war with Heidelborg, who had somehow managed to take two small settlements from Powys and were clinging on to them.
Come at my door. We will defend ourselves.
Both sides dragged their allies into war, so this was now a proper war across much of Britannia. So, Gwined is at war with Heidelborg.
Rodri's son will prove his worth.
Ioreth,
Hit hard and fast.
our king's captain, was at Oswald's Throw at this time and quickly took on one of the Heidelborg settlements, Scrobbersburg. It was sacked, then occupied. We have received a mission to destroy West Seaxe for a little bit of heroism, 10 heroism. Surely conquering West Seaxe must take more than that.
We will serve you well. Don't waver.
Next, our Justica Balkan took the other settlement controlled by Heidelborg, Lan Idlos.
Send them packing. As commanded.
Down south in Cornwall, another general began recruiting the men of Cornwall ahead of our imminent offensive on West Seaxe. We are in the spring of 886 and Islay, one Irish faction, has died. Military tech was activated earlier, and as we begin our offensive, it is now high time to develop offensive tactics. On the other hand, we have a lot of spearmen in our army, so lower upkeep for our spearmen is even more pressing, and we will go for that. So here is West Seaxe in red, and a very large rebel army seems to have put Exeter, that is Exeter, under siege.
For the glory of the Cymry.
Okay, move our general a little bit closer to that settlement, Credia 2, and he's got a fortified stance.
For the glory of the Cymry.
Here is our king's army, the White Shields. He is now near Gwined, the old seat of King Arthur, where he held court on 7 Christmases at Caerleon.
My warriors will not falter. Move out!
Morkant is marching alongside with his smaller army and is now about to join Iowa.
Every man will do his duty.
So they're going to exchange units,
We can't do that just now.
and Morkant will head for Tumblefig, where he can recruit men.
Step up now. Glory awaits us.
It's too soon for that.
As you remember, he can recruit spearmen at half cost. At this point, it would be wise to cover our backs as much as possible, so it is time for some diplomacy.
More mead. Fine talk will follow.
Hylar Borg is a neutral faction between us and Hylar Borg. So Hylar Borg and Hylar Borg are different factions. Please note, it can be confusing.
A little gold to help things along.
So our king paid for all that mead that hopefully made the Danes happy. Okay, and Hylar Borg seem to be interested in a defensive alliance. They have accepted our offer. Proposal was sufficient. That's very nice. You have a defensive ally. That's always something useful. As I said, allies are so easy to get in this campaign. Maybe because I'm playing on hard difficulty. So, military alliance possibility there. Proposal is sufficient. So, I think I'm not going to go for that because they can drag us into wars. And also, if we set coordination target, they're going to send an army over. That's going to leave them open to attacks. That'll be bad for them, actually. I'm not always that keen to get military allies unless they're neighbors, and so we can coordinate our attacks. If they're distant, then if I set a coordination target, they're going to send an army over. It makes no sense. So, meanwhile, down south, our Cornish army has been attacked by an army of the Defender, the men of Devon. The odds are even. Our men are raw recruits and are outnumbered 2-1, but they seem to stand a chance according to the battle balance indicator. They were in a fortified position. I think that's why. So if I played it with auto-resolve, they'd have a chance. I'm not so sure it will work out the same on the battlefield, playing the battle manually. We'll see what happens. I haven't played a fortified position of battle so far, so let's see what the fortified position looks like on the actual battlefield. It looks like, well, I guess there's a hill here, so that's something. There isn't much more. There wasn't anything like fortifications, like stakes, anything like that. So fortified position is really quite useless, unless you, I guess, resolve it by auto-resolve. Well, okay, so the fortified position turned out to be just a hill. That's something. There were no fortifications. Maybe it was fortified before the battle, but maybe the night was cold and the soldiers burnt all the wood from the walls to keep themselves warm. So there are no fortifications, and we have half the men, and they are all raw recruits, but at least we have the hill advantage. So it's raining, and this is likely a disadvantage for the enemy archers and horsemen, so they do not choose their time well. We are going to hide these people here in this little wooded area. They're scared of some crows.
Blood will flow!
We set up on this hill and hunker down behind our shield walls, waiting for the enemy to approach, whom you can see in the distance. Our men are hunkering down there behind their shields. Here's the enemy approaching. They're going slowly up the hill. Let's hope the rain and the slope, the uphill slope, tires them a little bit.
Let's do this, lads!
They look very organized for Dark Age soldiers. Very highly disciplined. And I quite like the units. They're a little bit boring, you could say, but that's what I expect for soldiers of this period, to look a little boring. So the enemy has some cavalry. They have this light cavalry, I suppose. I'm not sure, I didn't check the javelin men. And they have lots of these units. They're relatively unarmored. They don't have helmets, they just have the shields. That's probably also realistic for this period for Britain. Our army is up on the hill. Chainmail existed, but I think a lot of these people were just peasants or something who were just called up from their fields now and then. It is possible they wouldn't have chainmail. Might have had helmets, some of them, I would have thought. Maybe. So anyway, so here's the Defender army, the men of Devon. They're going up the hill. Our men are on top of the hill, out of view at the moment. It looks like their cavalry is making a move. They're crossing across the battlefield to attack. I guess they want to flank us. I don't know why they didn't flank the other side. So here we have our men in this castle formation. And we have some units hidden here in the trees. I don't know if they sow them. I guess they sow them. And so we've now charged down the hill and we've attacked this cavalry, which is either light melee cavalry or there were javelin men, can't remember. But we now have the hill advantage. Wow, looks like we're winning this fight. They're retreating, well done, men of Cornwall. So we can go back into our good defensive position up there. So let's take position. Oh, and the enemy cavalry is coming back. That's a very big mistake. Okay, they're engaged in melee now. They charged uphill, and I'm in this well-defended position because there are trees and rocks here, so they can't really charge us. So they are caught in melee against a spear unit. For sure I can win this fight. I have a full advantage over everything. Okay, they flee before our might. Oh, they're fleeing very slowly, so they get murdered in the meantime. Alright, so that cavalry was routed. Hopefully that was the last of it. And now we're making a move here. So the enemy charged up the hill, attacked our shield wall, the men who were in castle formation, And the units that were, a couple of units that were not attacked on the right, and they charged down the hill, they've flanked the enemy. And the enemy is just completely overrun. In the meantime, we had the cavalry unit, it was our general, and we sent him down the hill. You can see some fighting down the hill. Our general is down there. Unfortunately, the enemy cavalry rallied and came back. So the enemy cavalry is now engaged with our general a little bit. They're skirmishing. You can see them there in the distance. They're skirmishing. They're coming up. And so we have to disengage our general because, yes, I remember, there were Java Cav. Here in the meantime, here's the fighting. One of our units, I think, was temporarily routed. The rest of our units have flanked the enemy general bodyguard. All the other units have routed. All the enemy units have routed by now, I think. Almost all of them. Here's the enemy general bodyguard in this green capes. It's heavily armored guys with mail. We also have some guys with mail. Okay, I think our general keeps attacking enemy light units. Like enemy missile units, they're light Javcav, and they keep getting routed. By now, only the enemy general bodyguard here is fighting. I'm fairly sure. And he's dead. Yes, we have surrounded them, and he's died. That's the end of the Defender. Their city, Exenkista, is under siege by some rebels, and their field army has been crushed here. And our general now is chasing after the retreating enemy, so does our infantry here. So a lot of enemy units are running off. I like this animation here. It's very realistic. Look, it's like they're running down the hill, and so they're braking. You've seen runners running downhill, especially because they have the heavy armor, and so they kind of try to break through their legs, the knees, as they're running downhill. Very nice animation. I mean, someone must have done this special animation for running downhill. Wonderful. So here's our general. He's taking enemies prisoner, and I think we can chase off all the enemies. So I stopped it, I think, here. Yes, so that's the end of this battle. Wow, we were very depleted, we're even more depleted now. These guys were all raw recruits, they had just been recruited. And so they all survived the battle though, it looks like it. No unit, there was one with just 13 men, no unit was destroyed. Yeah, they all survived the battle. The enemy, 2 of the enemy units survived the battle, but they are light missile units. They were charged by our general, but they were left to escape. I guess they managed to escape. Okay, and they have retreated back into Devon. Their main settlement is under siege. The Defender General Wilfred has died at the battle. So the men of Cornwall defeated the men of Devon. Dyflin intends to annex all Viking seeking factions in Ireland. Dugale raiders are setting north of Britannia. War fervor has decreased even though we just won a battle. A close victory but heroic one. East Anglia had made peace with Heimelborg. These are neither the Heilerborg or Heilerborg. They're just another faction, another Danish faction. Why do they all have the same name? Othgard, the general who won the last battle, gained a follower. A quartermaster adds movement range and can help decrease upkeep costs in the long run, so it is the best thing a general needs. Arthgal, our general in Cornwall, has finished the job with the Defender. So he's going to run after the routed enemy who retreated south.
Carry on then, men. Fall upon them.
Oh, they retreat again.
Move out.
We can still catch up with them.
them down.
Okay, this looks like a very favorable battle. I will auto-resolve the middle way. Or, yes, the middle way. Balanced way. Okay, they're gone. The remnants of the defender have been destroyed in an auto-resolve battle. They will take on the soldiers. The enemy general has died. Heroism and war fervor are now increasing.
Every man will do his duty.
We can even reach
As you
Totnes.
say.
So we'll first sack it, just in case,
Attackers won.
and then occupy it.
As commanded.
Let's go and damage the buildings. We can repair them in the long. We can repair them in the long run.
Rodri's son will prove his worth.
Command us!
Back in Mercia, Morkan has passed his small force over to Iorth, if you remember, and then marched to Tamworth Egg. Yeah,
We are Arthur's folk, true of heart.
indeed. So, Tamworth Egg has a blacksmith and is therefore the best place to recruit new units, because they get various upgrades automatically at no further cost. So he can recruit spearmen at half their cost, but there are only spear levies available. So then, some spear levies. They're still very good, these Welsh spear levies. They are very hardy. We'll also get some of these mounted javelin that I absolutely love. And maybe some light archers, which are a totally worthless unit for now. But by getting these archers, I'm hoping to open up a technology that will lead us to getting Welsh longbowmen. So that's the only reason why I'm hiring them. So very conveniently, we can also bring this General Maddock into our army. He has 50% upkeep for spearmen. This other general, Iliud, has a drill master who improves melee skill for spearmen, but lower upkeep is more important at this stage. So we'll get Maddock then. Morkan can pass the new recruits over to Maddock, and then he can move into Tamworth Egg to benefit from higher replenishment, so Maddock can move into Tamworth Egg with these units. So this is what I'm going to do. So these units were recruited, some of them at half cost,
Will do his duty.
and so they're now passed on to Maddock, and he gets 50% lower upkeep,
Get along there.
and moreover,
Serve you well.
It's too soon for that.
it's not too soon. So now he can go into Tamworth Egg, and there he gets higher replenishment. So everything worked out okay.
Our spirits are resolute.
So here's Iorth in Oswald. No, he's going to go to Oswald, it's true. He was in the other place, Grobbersburg.
We will serve you well.
And King Anarod is presently at land course in Breckinnock, the former kingdom of Breckinnock. There's a large Glistywig army outside the Seiselwig capital of Dinefur, or Dinefur, and another large army in Gwined. It would be nice to draw one of these two armies into land course and fight them there, ideally the Gwent army. So both these factions were Wessex vassals, but even though they should be Welsh, they did not join our alliance along with Cornwall. Instead they went to war on the side of Wessex. That's very naughty for our Welsh brothers. Perhaps they have Anglo-Saxon
The
kings.
enemy beware.
Yes. So we can afford to recruit another general in our army. He can serve as a quick strike unit to take out undefended settlements. So here in Oxford we can recruit one of these two guys, either Sinwallen or Iliad. Sinwallen is fearless, 5 unit morale, plus 5 unit morale when attacking only the commanded force. And this guy has spearman, can't remember what it was, trait. So I guess he'll have to recruit some units here. Possibly. For now he's going to be used as a kind of quick strike force to take out minor settlements. So he just needs cavalry, so he's mobile. Unfortunately, I'm not sure, maybe it wasn't a very good choice to recruit him here, because it looks like he's blocked off by Dorchester. Maybe it was a mistake, but I should have recruited him somewhere closer to Devon or Cornwall, somewhere. Never mind. Somerset, somewhere else. Okay, never mind. Too late now. So we also now have money coming in from Cornwall, so we can also build something. For example, we can build a harbour in Aberfurrow, or some of those low court buildings, low buildings, or land veins. No, a lowest public quarter. Fishing port in Dugano. Okay, looks like Canarot and Gwyn have a child. War fervor looks like it's going down. So our king now has a son, so an heir at least. Just as we had a move to scare off the Glycewig army, as I was hoping, the army in Care went to move to capture that course, and now we can fight them in the open. We set Care went as a coordination target, and Sisselwig is now mobilizing against it. In the meantime, our king can attack the Gwent army in land course. We have the advantage. Gwent has a large force with plenty of archers, but all their units seem to be levies. King Anarot, on the other hand, has quite a few units of medium and heavy spearmen, swordsmen and axemen, so this battle should be not too hard. I think they seem to have an advantage because they're in the settlement, so in this sort of kind of fortified position, but I don't think this really affects battles on the battle maps. So the odds are therefore even more in our favor than it'll look like. So here are the two armies. The Gwent army is commanded by their king, Blendery. Sounds more like a Welsh name rather than Anglo-Saxon, so I don't know why this guy's fighting for West Seaxe. Hopefully we can make their cavalry and dogs, they have some dogs, to attack our shield wall by putting our spearmen on the sides to protect the wings so they don't attack our wings. So that's the strategy I'm going to follow. That's my usual approach. Build a strong center, put spearmen on the wings if the enemy has strong cavalry so they don't attack the wings. So, dry. We need rain because they have archers. Dry. That's unusual for Wales. Dry? Must be the summer. Even in the summer it rains in Wales. Okay, finally, after waiting, finally the rain came. A perfect day for a battle against an enemy that has superiority in missile units.
True Britons forever!
So, true Britons, to battle, because it has a double T in it. To battle then, most emphatically. Remember the glory of our forefathers, make them proud. Raise your banners! No general speech in this game, so there you go. So the settlement here is very nice, and it looks like the defenders are retreating towards this place, now course. And look at this sort of fenced sort of area, whatever it's supposed to be. I think some palaces, so-called palaces, at this period were actually very simple, and they had a kind of high fence wall around them, kind of made of wood. But they weren't really kind of a very big thing, because I think something was excavated somewhere, and it wasn't anything terribly impressive. So, here's the enemy army, the army of Gwined. So they have some dogs, as you can see there on the left. They have plenty of spearmen.
Blood will flow!
Blood will flow? But whose is the question? So here are those dogs. These dogs look really pathetic. I have to say, I mean, in actual action, they look really pathetic. They look like puppies.
True Britons forever!
Well, you are true Britons. Why don't you join our side? Why are you fighting for West Seaxe? And so they have plenty of archers, as you can see. They put them behind their spearmen, which is what I do. So that's a very clever move, I guess, if I am clever. And here is the enemy cavalry. They have plenty of cavalry. Here's their king. Wow. He looks amazing. Wow, looks like King Arthur or something. Wow, you should have joined our side, man. And here's our king. He doesn't look so cool, I have to say. He's still cool. He looks slightly more Welsh, don't you think? So, we're going to battle! Remember your ancestors, remember the glory of our dead kings. Okay, the enemy is in this castle formation to start shooting as we're approaching. Wow, this looks really cool. Amazing, amazing. And we're going into battle! Oh, this is the most exciting point of any battle. I get such a rush when the men just charge into the enemy. Okay, we're losing the frame rate. I'm sorry. This is the sort of thing that happens, I have to say. I'm playing on my laptop. I have a better computer, but it doesn't connect to the internet. So when the battle starts, everything slows down, especially if I'm zooming in. And so it looks like the enemy has done a very bad mistake. They've charged their cavalry into our main line because we have spearmen on the sides, and so they charged our center. So they basically charged the backs of their own soldiers. That's a very bad mistake. And now that their cavalry is engaged with our main line, we can send our cavalry to chase down their archers who are retreating. And here's the main line, so you can see the enemy cavalry is engaged with our infantry. Here we brought some spearmen on the side, and I was meaning here to attack them, but okay. But you know, sometimes when you're in the battle you forget some units, so they should have attacked the flank of that cavalry there. That's the enemy cavalry engaged with our men in the main line, and more units are overtaking the enemy flank. Yes, we also have some javelin cap here. Okay, we're attacking them now. Great. Okay, now the enemy cavalry looks like maybe they have been routed or they're retreating. And now the enemy lines are completely, the enemy infantry is completely surrounded. And they start retreating. The guys with the red and green capes are our men.
They flee before our might.
They flee before our might, yes, yes. I think now the majority of the enemy army has retreated. We left some of our units there on the left in the main line, and our cavalry and light units now are chasing after the retreating enemy. They are running away.
They're running off!
Guard the flanks.
Guard the flanks. There's nobody left. They're running for their lives.
So we can go now?
Just wait a little bit.
That's it, boys. We can do this.
It's finished. So here's our king's bodyguard. They are running after the retreating enemy along with the rest of our cavalry.
All hope is lost.
Hope is lost for Gwent. They made a mistake to come out of their fortified settlement of Gwent. This poor guy is running off, he's stuck behind its wall. Oh dear, he got squashed out of their hooves of our horsemen, of our cavalry.
We survive, we learn,
Our horse.
we return.
Yes, we will return if we need to. Or maybe that was the enemy. The enemy soldiers were running away. So there's some nice fields here. It's wonderful. It's a nice garden and nice houses. I like it so much. And here's our king running after some routed units. Oh, the rain is real. Here's the king's bodyguard. Here's our king, King Anarot. Wonderful. He looks so cool. This is interesting. This is gardens with the garden sheds. Wow, it's so amazing. These fields. Very nice. Oh, here are some retreating enemy. Few men have survived, a few men of Gwent. The more we kill, the better. If we can destroy most of these units that don't run away, we won't have to deal with them again. Here's again our king, King Anarot.
Our warriors are running away!
He looks very glorious. And that was the end of the battle, more or less. We've taken this townland's core, or land course. It was the end of the battle, a decisive victory. Wow, we lost 223 men. And the enemy lost about 6 times as many, almost. The enemy king, I think, died in battle. The entire enemy army was destroyed. That's wonderful. We won't have to deal with them again. A decisive victory. We can sack. We get 1400 coins, so
For duty.
I guess they are Welsh brothers, so I'll just occupy. And the way is now open for the conquest of Gwent. Thank you for watching.